It's time to play Texas Rangers Immaculate Grid, only here on the Texas Rangers Club. Hey everybody, my name is Jeff Bates of the Texas Rangers Clubhouse. We talk about the Texas Rangers Major League Baseball hot stove. Going to mention that on purpose here to start the show. Free agent signings, the owners' meetings next week, and we play Immaculate Grid 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times a week when I can. Here's how you play. Here's the rules. Here's how I bend the rules. We play baseball's Immaculate Grid, but we add Texas Rangers to every single grid because why not? This is a Texas Rangers channel after all. Most of the time it works. Sometimes I have to bend the rules, and today I bend the rules just a little bit on one of them. You'll have to stick around to see what that is. Started off my day watching Hot Stove. Matty Vasgersian, who I've been a fan of for a while. He's funny. And he knows this game. I was out in San Diego when he was a play-by-play guy for the Padres a few years ago. Him and Harold Reynolds. I've always been a Harold Reynolds fan. I played a little middle infield back in the day. He was a guy I looked up to. He had a game that I wanted to emulate. I got a little big in the midsection and things changed, but that's a whole different story. So don't look at me like that, Harold. Matty Vasgersian and him and the other guys on the channel, Hot Stove, MLB Network, blah, blah, blah. They play Immaculate Grid, and they had a little conversation about, I got an email. Matty Vasgersian says, I got an email from not a Mad fan, but a fan saying, why do you play and ruin the Immaculate Grid? Listen, people, you don't have to pick the ones they pick. You can still, there's lots of names out there. Don't ruin the game for somebody else. Oh, you pick somebody. I don't understand that at all. But if you're that person, you need to leave because I'm going to be playing Texas Ranger Immaculate Grid with you right now on today's game. So if this ruins it, well, I guess you could come back and watch tomorrow. Let's go. Top of the grid today. We got the Braves. We got 300 plus home runs in a career, and we've got a season under 3 ERA. This is going to be tough. We're going to have to look for the relievers on this one. Far left, we got the Pirates, we got the Brewers, and the White Sox. Of course, we add Texas Rangers to each one of those grids if and when we can. Today, we actually have one where we cannot do that. We'll talk about that when we get there. I bend the rules a little bit, but I think you might like what I did. You also might hate it. Let's start top left. Braves, Pirates, and of course of the Texas Rangers, Kenny Lofton. I use Kenny Lofton a lot. He played on a lot of teams. He was a guy I emulated in my game after too. I hit right-handed. Harold hit left-handed. Kenny hit left-handed. I didn't. So they had a couple feet on me to get to first right off the bat, but I liked his game. He played great defense in center field. Harold Reynolds was more my style because I played middle infield, more shortstop than second. Harold played second. This is a whole different conversation. Kenny Lofton, one of my favorite ball players. He was also a point guard. That's a whole nother conversation also, but so was I. Again, 35 years ago and 250 pounds ago. 300 plus home runs and Pittsburgh Pirates. This is where I had to break my rules. Again, they're my rules. I have to add a Texas Ranger. They don't have to play for the Rangers. They have to have some connection to the Rangers. Sometimes I put a coach in here. This time I'm going to put a villain in here. Now, I hate to call somebody a villain, but if there's a Texas Rangers villain, it's either Robin Ventura or this guy, Jose Bautista. He took one to the face from Rugi Odor, probably the best or second best punch in the history of Major League Baseball. Looking at you, Tim Anderson. Down goes Timmy. Jose went down, well, in history at least, as a Texas Ranger, a villain. That home run, that bat toss, that punch to the face. But he did hit over 300 home runs. He was a Pittsburgh Pirate, and he made the Rangers mad. That's how he fits in this grid today. Here we've got the Pirates and an under 3 ERA for a season. These under 3 ERA for a season, they're tough, right? So what you got to do here is think reliever. Think reliever in a short season. I was looking for relievers who played early in their career for the Pirates, or the Pirates in this case, right? Even though 2 of my 3 are relievers, the other one becomes a starter, but he's one of my favorite people to ever play in an Immaculate Grid. Rich Goose Gossage, one of my favorites ever. He did plunk Ron Say in the head. 81? Let's see my Dodger gear today. I think it was the 81 World Series, so I kind of hated him for a while, being a Southern California boy rooting for the Dodgers back then. Gossage played for the Pirates. He had an ERA under 3 for a season. He played for the Rangers, and he fits in the top right of our grid today. That takes us to the middle grid, or the middle row today. Braves, Brewers, and Rangers. I use this guy a lot because he had a great career. He played for a lot of people. I like him very much. Julio Franco, that batting stance, not to be emulated. I say that because I just heard an interview with Gary Sheffield, who kind of admitted to kind of emulating Julio Franco's stance. And Sheffield was a stance that I would pretend to do when I was in the batting cages, when I was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Whatever. Julio Franco fits right there. He was a Brave, he was a Brewer, he's a Ranger, and he's our middle grid far left. Center cut today, 300 plus home runs, and a Brewer and a Ranger. Nelly Cruz, another name I use a lot on the Texas Rangers Immaculate Grid. Why? He fits. He was a Ranger and he played for a lot of teams. So we use him a lot. He's center cut today, 300 home runs, just retired. What a great career. And now all is forgiven because we've got a ring here in Texas. Back to that under 3 ERA season. These are tough ones. You're going to go with relievers on this a lot. He was a Brewer. He was a Ranger this year. He won a ring. Not this one. This is my wedding ring. He wins a World Series ring. Will Smith. Not that one. Not that one. Ours. Will Smith, under 3 ERA for the Brewers. Played for the Rangers. And he's going to get you, what, a 0.06% if you're looking for rarity? Holy moly. Bottom row now. We got a Brave, we got a White Sox, we got AJ Pierzynski. He played for the Rangers. I really like him. He's a pretty good announcer now. He knows the game very well. Those catchers seem to always know the game better than most, right? And he's funny. He's a funny guy to listen to. He was a Brave, he was a White Sox, he was a Ranger. He's our bottom left grid holder today. 300 career home runs and a White Sox and a Ranger. Sammy Sosa. He played for both Chicago teams. He played for Texas. And it'll get you a 2% rarity on the bottom of today's grid. That brings us to my favorite player to use. Sorry, he is. And it's not even him, it's his wife. If you watch this show, you know what I'm about to say. Dallas Keuchel had an under 3 ERA when he was with the White Sox. He was a Ranger. He actually had a great year this year. I hope he signs with somebody. I would love him to come to Texas. Why? He's an effective pitcher. He's one of the greatest fielding pitchers of all time. Top 5, I would say, in my lifetime at least. But it's his wife. I love him, but I like Kelly Nash more. Kelly Nash's own Dallas Keuchel ends the grid. So that gives us Lofton, Bautista, boo, Rich Gossage, Julio Franco, Nelly Cruz, Will Smith, AJ Pierzynski, Sammy Sosa, Kelly Nash, Dallas Keuchel to end our grid today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you watching. I hope I didn't ruin your grid. Here's the good news. If I ruined your grid, you're not really. There's other people. You can pick your own. So get off of Maddie Vasgerjan's Immaculate Grid, because it's just fun to see what other people's grids are. And if you don't like that, well, I guess you didn't probably watch to the end. Maddie, if you're watching, you're my favorite. Tied with Harold in the morning. Really, it's Lauren Shahadi, but she's off for the... I'll see you next time on Texas Rangers Immaculate Grid.